the words?
I'm not good enough, yeah.
And little me, foreign, odd, not in control.
That is...
Hey, what scene is that?
Well, that's me being the youngest of 5 kids in my family.
Not every youngest child in a family of 5 experiences that, unless you tell us some particular scene where that occurred.
Well, my brothers and sisters never did anything with me. They kidded me that I was adopted. I was weird and different than them. I used to hear voices. I saw things.
Okay, then if that's a state of mind that persisted in the household, someone allowed it. What were your parents doing when they saw that, heard that?
Well, my dad was busy making money, and my mom was busy being a good...
What?
My mom was busy being a good housewife. My dad was busy making money and being...
You mean they allowed the other children to do it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Say it again. What did they allow?
They allowed the other kids to...
play that tune on your head.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I was weird and not good enough.
I hear that? Because I really was not good enough. That's buying, that's accepting, that's assuming the truth.
It seemed like I was the only one who ever did it. It seemed like I was always the only one who ever did anything wrong. I was the only one.
Yeah. Okay.
Tested the limits.
All right. If you can get particular scenes where this went on, when the parents were present.
We even had like the family dinner table, and I had this little tiny chair on the corner of the table.
Good. A little, yeah.
Chair.
Good.
All the way up until through teenage, I had this little...
Still have that little chair.
I couldn't fit at the table, you know. It's like...
Yeah, good.
I was the leftover or something.
Yeah. See, if that's what we call the milieu, if that's the standard background, then you're going to assume that's true.
Yeah, and it seemed to me that I'd carried it on into friends in the neighborhood. I just couldn't connect. I didn't connect with other kids. I didn't get it very well at all.
Now, if the next few dreams you have, let us see what it does to this. And let's see how this plays a role in your life. And that'll be another talk. Right?
Well, I really appreciate it. Can I ask though, is your thought that, well, I guess we did just do it, but I don't have to then go back and kind of start fixing all of this past stuff. I can just recognize it and move forward.
No, see.
Because I kept thinking, you once said to, when the other gentleman was here, he was talking, you said, well, you kept going, I'm so in my mind, you were going, but that's great, okay, so you've got all that, that's really good stuff. Now why don't you just start adding the other things instead of, I'm so in my mind, I've got to tear myself down from that.
No tearing down. See, we only want to see when these things block your development. So, because you're finally going to have to say, are you not? Yeah, that was my family. Yeah, okay, but that's not me anymore. Because you're answering it, you see.
Yeah.
You're answering it in your dream.
Do you know, Pierre, because I've been kind of caretaking my dad, he's not too well, and it's given us some opportunities for me to really just be pretty present with him.
Sure.
Because he's also at the end of his life, he seems a little more accessible. And he's kind of a captive audience, I suppose, too. But I mentioned to him, I said, did you realize that when I was in 3rd grade, the public school that I was going to started sending me to a psychiatrist? And he said, no, he never even knew. He never knew.
Who did?
My mom knew.
Then we have a serious and interesting question.
Yeah.
Why didn't she tell Dad?
Exactly. It's very interesting.
Right? What is she doing? You have to put a name on it, you see. Finally, you have to put a name on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when this drama was going on that your brothers and the other children are playing on you, someone had to allow it, and that's probably Mom, not Dad. He was working, as you said, away working.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll look at it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much
Good.
for all that time.
Good. Thank you for your help and your contribution.
Teaching this process in midwifery or in learning the process, and are there certain empirical points, like within each dream, that you know where to go to? I mean, you know, when you, I'm talking specifically as a process.
It's always the same. You do it as you would to understand anything. See? Like anything. I look at a dream as a person's private book. That's their book. This is your book. And we have to approach it with as much integrity as we can. So I want to fill it in where there are blanks, states of mind. These three things I always look for because they play such an important role in any story. See? And then I'm looking at it, and see, in this, he was missing.
So you kind of fill it. You're filling it out. You're going to where it's. Like
I'm getting him to fill it out.
Right.
See? So they were. See, this is successful. Well, then let's see what happens Tuesday. Why, see the language? The language? All right. And then I went here, right? Here it is. And then we spent time on what does this mean, just as you would in a story. Just as you would in a story. You want to make sense of it. You want to understand it, not in your terms, in the author's terms. And so I ask. I ask.
But it's extraordinary because I'm interpreting as the author that from a fearful place, and you actually took me a little further through that.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's a little different.
Well, I don't come with any set interpretation.
Right.
See, so I play, give a person a lot of room to play and to reflect back and forth and put it back and what states of mind, and then we found another state of mind in there. Mm-hmm. Right? Gosh, that opened this up, what he was doing at this point in his writing. Oh. Then we went back to here and stayed. And then, oh my gosh, a lot of nice things came up as we saw how we can understand that and the meaning of it. Why, it gave us these, it looks like these qualities are like that qualities. Right? Knitting. Threading, I call it. Threading ideas together and images together.
I hate to use the word, but are there rules, like in things not to do that would impose maybe something that would alter?
Well, yeah, you don't want to type anything in of your own.
So, but that would affect the way you ask, then? I mean, there's...
Everything.
Very careful. I mean, the way you
have to be very careful. Now, it's only when we got so much material that I had a leading question, which perhaps if we had more time, I wouldn't even do that. When I said, you notice this and these qualities. Whereas if I had more time, I just would have had a cup of coffee and said, by the way, see any similarities anywhere in the dream? And just wait for them to be discovered. See, a dream is intelligible in terms of itself, with the author, right? With the author. And that's why it's so important to see if you can analyze them as soon as possible, because you see, you'll forget these things that are in red. You'll forget the states of mind. You'll just remember the logos. And that's already a weakened, therefore a weakened story. It's like a story that doesn't have a state of mind in any